I like to say it's hard work. The rewards are bigger than most people can imagine when you're out there and you feel like you're at times the only person left on the planet. My name is Justin Barbour. I'm 29 years old. I'm a teacher by trade. More recently, I've gotten into long distance expeditions through some remote wilderness areas. Kind of a passion that I've developed over the last 5 or 6 years, but something I've kind of always enjoyed throughout my life, but not to this extent, I guess. The Crossing Newfoundland expedition. It was kind of a 2-year planning process. It was something I didn't really want to rush into. I think the longest trip I had before that was 120 kilometers. And the trip across Newfoundland was going to be somewhere around 700. So I was really going, around 6 times that distance. So it was much bigger than anything I've ever done before. So I wanted to take it slow and do the proper research, make sure I had the proper gear. I had an idea of the route I wanted to take, which was to be mostly water-based along the riverways and lakes and ponds and etc. I planned it out. I had done a smaller trip around 2 years before that. Well, most people kind of said to me, after I'd done that trip, like friends and family, do you have that out of your system? I mean, are you good now? Do you need to do anything kind of crazy? Because they thought the 120 kilometers was kind of out of hand. But to me, it was just kind of stirred up the pot and I wanted to do something bigger. It was a big process. I mean, I had some of my route kind of planned out along the way. I knew some of the areas. In a trip like this, I don't really want to know everything that lays ahead of me. I kind of want it to be a surprise. I like the unknown, going into an area or around the next corner where you don't really know what kind of obstacle I have to overcome. And a large, a lengthy expedition, there can be so many challenges. It could be that you get to a pond and it's super windy, and all of a sudden, if I have to cross that and there's no trails to get around it, I have to wait for the wind to die down. When you're doing this repetitively, day after day, your body starts to wear down. So it's getting to that point where you don't feel like you can go any further, but you got to push through that. I think I averaged 17.5 kilometers a day on my last trip through mostly trackless areas, kind of making my own route along the way. When you have to do that day in and day out, I just can't sit down and take a break because I feel like I've hit a wall. You just kind of got to push through that. I was always a fan of the hard work and doing the things a lot of people didn't want to do. So out here I get my my love of nature, and I also get to challenge myself and kind of work hard and earn the experiences, I guess. I like to say it's hard work. The rewards are bigger than most people can imagine when you're out there and you feel like you're at times the only person left on the planet. I ran this by some individuals to go do this trip, and it's kind of tough. People have life commitments, they have jobs, they have families. It's just kind of hard to take 2 or 3 months and go do a trip like this. Of course, it's something I wanted to do. So my thing is, you can't really wait around forever for willing, individuals. So I took Saku, and having him with me definitely made the experience better. I have his companionship, and I have someone to look after and help me pass the time. Just having him there for entertainment and just to talk the air off him sometimes, even though he can't talk back. But it definitely makes things a little more interesting for me. Right now, the most appealing thing to me is these longer expeditions where I can kind of be out there, I guess, somewhat traveling and moving in a way that the earliest settlers did. Of course, with much better equipment, and I'm really not trying to emulate what they did, but I just like the thought of just covering a long distance with very little, a very minimalist type of lifestyle. I think there's an opportunity, I've filmed some recent trips, and to me, to get back and watch those is just as exciting as doing the trip, to kind of relive it. I think people would really enjoy it, and I think there's an opportunity to kind of make it into, some sort of continual documentaries after my trip, to kind of share my love of the outdoors, and hopefully that passion can kind of spread off to other people. It may not even be people who like to do this, but they can sit from the comfort of their home and kind of live, vicariously through my eyes and see the adventure that way with a cold beer or a cup of tea or something in their hand. The message I'd like people to take from, you know, what I do is not really about the wilderness survival and the expeditioning and all that stuff. It's more about, you know, relatable life skills. I put my work in out here, and you know, I work very hard, but I do get rewards that I want. And I think that in life, if you really want something and you go after it, that you can get your rewards too. But it's about putting that time in, putting in the extra effort, doing the things that other people don't want to do, and that gives you an opportunity to live the life that you want. Is that cool? I think I did better that time, I don't know.